Welcome back into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller.
And my name's Brett Parnell.
And we have another fun episode for you where the topic was decided day of.
We sure do, but it's a good timing for it because, at this point, it's February in a few hours. We're going to be season 50 before we know it, 26 days.
Come on, February in a few hours. Doesn't January have 31 days?
Bruce, this episode's going to come out on the 31st.
Well, I'm dumb. I forgot about that. I was thinking of the day we're recording, not the day they're listening. So,
That's fair. But, at this point, we're less than a month away from season 50. I think the fan base is all excited for it. Can't wait. We saw the launch of the Survivor Cafe in Miami tonight. That looked amazing that Dee was doing. Yeah. But our episode today is going to be another player profile on a 50 contestant, and it's the Colby Donaldson episode. Massive name that we've talked a lot about in different episodes in the last few months, but we haven't done an episode on one of Survivor's original legendary players.
Yes. I'm psyched for 50. I already have my Bryson Wynn ticket.
Nice.
To my hometown, the Lou, this year, so I'll have a much shorter drive. Only
nice.
2.5 hours instead of 4. So
that'll be good.
I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to be talking about Colby.
There's still some weeks that they haven't announced, so I'm still holding out hope they do another Toronto party this year.
Yeah, you love Toronto. And
I don't mind it. I heard you say hockey. I hate that aspect of that city, but
I was hoping I could slip that by without you noticing. And you just be like, yeah, I don't mind it, and then wouldn't address the hockey part.
I definitely, like everybody up here, even someone who doesn't cheer for the team, was taken a bit on a fun ride cheering for the Jays last year. Hopefully they go deep again and maybe beat LA this time, but one team looks like they want to just buy the World Series every single year until the league puts some restrictions on it.
Oh, we're getting a lockout next season.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's going to be a 2027 season, and it's because of the Dodgers.
Yeah, there'll be a season this year, but after the season ends, probably not.
And for the record, that Maple Leafs comment I made, because I'm sure Kevin will be listening to this, peel back the curtain for the audience a little bit. Me and Brett and Kevin Oliver, contributor on here, co-host on Roundtable Talk and Kids Pals. The three of us have a group chat. And I did something this week that was a big troll to Kevin in the group chat. And he said I hate him. And I troll Brett as much as Kevin. I just do it on here instead of in the group chat.
Yeah.
I make little comments like that Toronto Maple Leafs comment.
You asked me about who came second in Winners at War.
I forgot about that.
So then I asked you who another 50 contestants NHL team is on trivia night.
Right after the playoffs, too. That was a couple. I hadn't gotten over that yet. I'm still not over 1.6.
I don't think you'll be over it when we see those two teams play each other.
Winnipeg stinks this year, though. So
that's okay. True. They do. They went from first to horrible.
Yeah. But yeah, I troll Brett too. It's not just Kevin. I'm just more aggressive.
Though I'm not excited about this at all because Winnipeg being horrible this year meant that Camilla won the bet you may have seen online a week ago.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm hoping and praying that we don't get a Maple Leafs jersey on post-production for 50.
I just need cosplay as Chief from his press conference earlier this week, where he had a gash on his head and a black eye for some reason.
Oh no!
He said gym accident. I think I don't remember.
For those in the audience who don't know of the bet, Winnipeg.
I'll look at something real quick. I'll be back.
Sure. Talking. Winnipeg and Toronto were playing each other in a game that a number of Survivor players attended, and Camilla and Genevieve bet that the team that wins, it was Toronto, get the player who wins gets to pick the losing teams, the losing players, what's it called, outfit for the post press after 50 ends. So I'm hoping that Camilla does not make Genevieve wear blue and white Maple Leafs jersey, because that would be horrible. We'll wait for Bruce to come back, and then we'll get into talking about Colby Donaldson in the Australian outback.
I'm back. Sorry, I heard plastic crackling in the next room and didn't know what the dog was chewing on. Turns out the answer was medicine cup.
Oh, that's not good.
And it was empty. I just threw it away.
Okay. Hopefully the dog is not just drinking medicine. That would be bad.
No, it wasn't. I don't know where I think she was in my guest bathroom, and I keep medicine. There was just the little plastic cup, but there's 2 bottles in there, and the other one still has its cup, so I'm fine.
Fair enough. So let's get into Survivor Australian Outback. Kind of not as much as Guatemala that we talked about recently, but the Outback is probably the one of 2 other seasons that starts with a long trek.
It does.
And Colby, we see some from here that we'll get into, but just also a fun thing I was thinking of right in the lead up to this episode. I think this is the only season that the players are marooned by aircraft.
Yeah.
So we see
heroes versus villains, they come in on helicopters.
That's true. But they're still on islands. They're not like flying deep into the middle of nowhere.
True.
So kind of unique. But we see a 5-mile hike from where the plane lets them off to their camp. And Colby at this point is really ready for this game and starts a few minutes into the episode saying, this is exactly what I wanted, because it's going to show us before Tribal Council what everyone on this tribe is made of.
Yeah.
You can almost tell he's going to be the early precursor, let a bit better social skills, but bringing the same sort of physical approach to the game as, say, an Aussie does later.
Yeah, for sure. He's just a little bit less full of himself than Ozzy is.
Yeah. So then after that, we don't get a ton after the hike from Colby, but we do get one noticeable part, and that's building the shelter.
Yeah. Because luxury items were a thing back then, and he brought a flag. That's
right. Colby brought a flag of his home state of Texas to the Australian Outback, and it's neat that he. So I don't know, Bruce, if you've ever seen the DVD rewatch and not the Paramount Plus rewatches of some seasons, but it's really neat on the DVD set because in addition to watching certain episodes the way they were aired on TV, you can also watch them as where you just see the picture. You're not hearing the sound out loud, because instead you're seeing players from the season along with Jeff in a studio in LA giving their feedback of what they remember from being there. And they commentate the whole episode. And one thing that's neat in here is how he was able to get it by. Colby tells Jeff, I told one of your staff members I wanted to bring a Texas flag. And they could probably just what kind of idiot is going to bring a Texas flag as his luxury item? He never told production at all that the flag was going to be as big as it was or that it was going to be waterproof. And they never asked him.
Why? How did they not ask him that?
I mean, it was season 2. These things were never done before.
How did Probst react to that information?
Oh, I'd have to go watch it again.
I feel like his reaction would be funny.
Yeah. But no, so Colby was thinking about the survival aspect of the game months before they ever played. And very smart on his part.
Survival was a big part of it back then. I kind of miss that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think the production tried to make it a bigger part of the new era, but then realized that all they're really doing by taking away Flint and not having Rice is creating a disaster tribe.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like we're really getting the survival footage that we used to. And maybe that might just be something that's impossible to recreate because at that time, that's what people kind of thought the point of the show was. And now we've seen it evolve so much that it's like you can't put the toothpaste back into the plastic tube.
I think we should just do Survivor Fiji every season and have a luxury tribe and a poverty tribe.
Yeah, because that went off so well.
Well, yeah, they got to keep trying till it works.
I mean, it was if we ranked our whole seasons list right now, I'm just going to go and put 50 in there too, because we haven't seen it yet, but we know it exists. I'm going to guess Fiji would be 49.
Wow, I thought it was 50.
No, Nicaragua's 50.
Oh, I thought Fiji was last and Nicaragua was second to last. I mixed them up.
I mean, they could be either order, but it didn't come off well. They both seasons have one strong point, and that's at least they have a couple cast members I like. But most casting was bad on both of them. The twists were bad on both of them.
Yeah.
And we had disaster tribes on both of them.
See, with One World, casting was bad outside of Kim, but the twist was cool at the beginning.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, some casting wasn't horrible in addition to Kim. Like, Kat was good casting. Troy Zen was good casting. Monica Culpepper was good casting.
Overall,
it's pretty bad.
My thing is, if you're going to do One World, don't put a swap in there where then once you swap tribes away from men and women, you create a new beach.
Yeah.
Just go all pre-merge, no swaps.
Yeah.
The swap on that season...
Or do a swap, but make it still One World. That's kind of the point of the season.
Yeah.
But either way, so we don't, after the hike and the flag, we don't see a lot from Colby because it's Ogakoi wins the first challenge. But in episode 2, Colby is kind of in a few dilemmas at this point. Because, one, it's probably one of the most famous episodes of Old School Survivor, and that's the beef jerky incident. And Colby's in a spot at this point where he, as a younger man, is working with both Jerri and Amber, but at the same point, and seeing that the older people might be against him, so he needs safety in numbers. But at the same point, Jerri's already starting to drive him nuts.
Yeah.
And the two of them are in completely... I don't think that Jerri was a bad player the way the audience made her out to be in season 2 and season 8. I don't think Colby was necessarily in a bad spot either. It's just the two of them were in the game for two completely different reasons. I mean, Colby was a mechanic at the time, and Jerri literally had in her title aspiring actress. So in addition to winning the game, she was hoping that this would set her up for life.
Yeah.
And therefore, you are going to take the approach that Jerri did and try to flirt with the younger male that you find attractive and get good moments on TV and accuse someone of beef jerky. That makes her memorable.
Yeah. Now, I will say both of them do go home in All-Stars for the same reason, and it's because they trusted Lex.
That's true. We'll get to All-Stars.
But yeah. We'll get to Lex in a few minutes. I have a thought for him that I've shared before.
Sounds great. But Colby is not in any danger at this point. He's probably the safest person on his tribe. This is still the time of Survivor where everybody says you need a physical threat. You have to win challenges. It's all about keeping the tribe strong. And there's nobody that defines keeping the tribe strong at this point or even possibly later in the show like Colby does here.
Yeah, I agree.
He's kind of like the Superman of the first 10 seasons.
Yeah.
So it's a unanimous vote that Kel goes home at this point, both somewhat because of the beef jerky incident, but then we also see so much of Kel just canoeing on his own and not really forming the social relationships needed in this game. So he was never going to last, regardless of what happened, despite the fact that you would think that someone that's a Army officer from Fort Hood, Texas, would be really valuable to a tribe out in the wilderness. He just wasn't.
And one thing we learned from when we talked to Tina on this show is that Kel had already been caught trying to smuggle things.
Like by Australian customs.
So, yeah.
So that gives a bad rap.
Played on the show as a he said, she said, but there was precedent for it.
Yeah. So episode 3, really all we're getting from Colby is the same kind of thing. He is close with Amber and Jerri, but also getting driven nuts. Ogre loses again, but same kind of thing. We're going to keep the tribe strong at least for one more week. And Marilyn's voted out. I believe Marilyn was the oldest woman in this game. Yeah. Or the oldest person in this game. No, Roger would have been older.
I'm not convinced.
I'm going to look that up.
Okay.
Survivor Australian Outback. Now I have to search Australian Outback because when I put Survivor Australia, like I used to, another show comes up that we've podcasted on a bit. Marilyn was 51. Roger was 53.
Darn, I was wrong.
Well, close enough. But let me get back to my notes now. There we go. But not much happens until the next week. And I know before I've commented a lot on like Boston Rob when he goes on the old school journey with Kathy. I guess you can call it a journey, even though we didn't know what a journey was today. It was leaving the camp and doing something else. Was kind of the first big moment of deception in Survivor. But when you really think about it, it might be Colby here in episode 4. Yeah. And that's when Colby flips on. Well, first of all, I think we can't get into the vote before we talk about probably one of the most influential questions that Jeff has ever asked in the middle of Tribal. And that's to Jerri. Jeff says in episode 4, who are your closest allies? And Jerri just answers the question, no political skills at all, and says Amber, Colby, Mitchell. Basically saying if you're anyone I didn't mention, you're gone next. Yeah. And that night, Colby decides he's going to vote with Tina and Keith to force a tie.
Yeah.
And this is probably, we don't talk about it enough because it's just such an early season, but this is probably one of the iconic votes of 50 seasons.
Yeah, it is.
And if you go back, I'm going to comment on what's said in the commentaries a lot, but if you go look into the DVD set and not the Paramount Plus version, another great story comes out of this. Jerri does a commentary where she says they used to vote like you would in an election, where you put your ballot in the urn and it stays there until the votes are read. Jerri says this tribal was game-changing.
I think I've heard this.
Because now a player will vote and production will take that parchment out of the urn and then the next player will vote. The reason for that is Jerri says that she read Mitchell on more than 2 cards while she was voting and knew my game's over.
I've heard that. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So she knew that Colby backstabbed her and Amber and Mitchell before the votes were read.
That's crazy.
Something that they don't do anymore.
Yeah. Probably better that they don't.
Yeah, definitely. Then not much happens in terms of Colby's game. I mean, until merge. Other than the fact that I guess the one notable point is that Colby really takes the leadership role in Ogre and gets his tribe really hyped up for the next challenge that they have to win. Because this is season 2. This isn't season 50. If you go into merge having voted out 4 of your 8 people, you're done.
Yeah.
And there's no way around that. The other tribe will be happy to just go to final whatever. 5, 6, 7, and then say who may the best person win. And we see this season too, that it comes up in Final Tribal of if Ogre loses this challenge, who sits at the end. I'm curious to know, what do you think? Which 2 players sit at the end if Kucha has a majority on merge?
That depends. Does the fire still happen pre-merge?
I'm gonna say none of that happens. Like, everyone, let's say that Ogre would have voted out 2 more people. So Amber's gone, Jerri's gone.
No, but does somebody from Kucha still get medevac?
No, that's what I'm saying. No medevacs. Ogre goes to Tribal Council 2 more times. And Tina, Colby, and Keith go in as 3 people against 7. Or against 6.
Well, my mind tells me that someone would have made it there, but I refuse to give that person credit for anything.
Fair.
So Roger and Elizabeth were the final 2 Kucha standing anyway, so I'll just say they would have been there anyway.
Interesting. Yeah, that would make sense. I think I'm going to go with maybe another controversial player for 31 seasons later, but I think Jeff Werner would have made the final. This Australia cast is really high on his strategic game, especially the people who played with him on Kucha.
Yeah, that's why Ogre targeted him at the merge.
Exactly.
And they knew he had received votes.
So I'm going to say Jeff makes it to the end, and I'm going to say Roger makes it to the end.
Yeah. Varner's not great, but it's better than the name that first came to my mind.
Yeah, I know who that is.
I know.
I mentioned him last week. I think Varner would, in that case, win final immunity and vote Elizabeth out.
It makes sense. Makes total sense.
But not much happens until we get that notice that you brought up, where Ogre wins 1 challenge, and they've got to go into the last challenge with a fighting chance. If they win, it's a tie. If they lose, they're going home. And they get tree mail that says, "He who must not be named has been medically evacuated." And the next day, they're merging. They don't know they're merging yet, but it basically, Mike going home counts as a win.
In more ways than one, both back then and today.
There we go.
It's what's crazy is that was season 2, and we're 49 seasons in, and that's probably still the most famous medevac.
Oh, 100%. That'll be...
Except people root for the fire when they watch it.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, let alone medevac, that'll be one of the most famous moments in the history of the show, no matter whether the show goes 50 seasons or 150 seasons.
You're just not going to see it because the show rightfully doesn't want to be associated with him at all. So
Exactly.
I doubt PS will ever show that clip again.
No, of course not. I'm just saying, of the people that watched it as it happened, you'll never forget that. I think that's the scene that many of us that, like myself, that did watch the show back at that time, looked at it and said, wow, this is actually real. I think there was always this doubt in your mind in season 1, early in season 2, of what if this is just filmed somewhere in LA? They can't actually be living with no food. And then you see the guy fall in the fire and almost burn his hands off. And
yeah, the scene where he comes up out of the water and you can like see the skin dripping off of his hand, like burned into my head.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, when that happens, you're going, this is 100% real.
And everyone's reactions were real.
Yeah. No question. And I mean, no one got medevaced on season 1. If you're Kucha, you have to wonder what's going to happen here. We got a guy who's almost dead, who just was subjected to like 5,000 degree burns. And hopefully the cameraman can get a helicopter in here at some point today.
Yeah.
I mean, now we obviously know a lot more about medical. And I mean, I hate what had to happen to Jake. That was scary. But that episode in 48 or 49, I mean, gave us such a good insight into all the massive budget and the massive facilities that Survivor has to care for their contestants. But we didn't know any of this existed back in season 2.
Seeing inside of the hospital at medical was really cool.
Yeah, it was. So then, like you said, we get into the tie, and Okafor gets an idea that Jeff's had votes. And meanwhile, let me check the voting history, because I can't remember who Kucha voted for.
Yeah.
Colby. It was Colby, so it fits right in this episode. Colby did not have any votes.
Huh.
So, therefore, Jeff went home from the first boot on Barramundi. And that means that Okafor is set to run the game, but Colby has a little bit of a different approach. And that's, if you're in his alliance, you're going to run the game with him. But as he knocks off Kucha members, starting with Jeff and with Alicia, once he doesn't need people, he and Tina want to play with the people that they want to live with. And that's something we don't see much anymore.
Yeah.
So Jerri goes home in 8th. They kept Jerri for as long as they needed her vote. I mean, also, that's an obvious reason why you don't see this anymore. If Jerri was to figure out, in today's Survivor, if Jerri was to know, hey, Colby voted against Mitchell, she'd be running the Kucha, and so would Amber.
Yeah.
And who knows, there might be somebody on Kucha who feels they're on the bottom that's running the Tina and Colby. Keith is just kind of there, as the sense we get for most of this season, except on the day he gets engaged.
He's our chef, remember?
Our chef that didn't make proper rice.
How is that possible?
I don't know. That's Jerri.
No chef can't cook rice for us, but the aspiring actress makes great rice. Shout out to Jerri for being good at making rice.
I'm guessing that there might be like I mean, obviously you don't get the instructions. You don't know what kind of rice you're making. I'm assuming it was something like that, but
yeah. You mean they don't have him in like culinary school cooking rice with like over a
fire? No.
Culinary school. I assume they just like teach him how to do all the Survivor cooking.
So I have a bit of an insight into culinary school because I went to tourism school. And when you go to tourism school, at least at the college I went to, Because we're considered the Department of Hospitality, Culinary, and Tourism, I share a building with all of the culinary students.
Tourism school?
Yeah.
There's a school where they teach you how to be a tourist?
No, they teach you how to like book trips for people and run an airline and work on all the systems that they use at airports and stuff.
Well, that makes more sense. When you said tourism, my mind went to like being a tourist somewhere. I'm like, they teach you how to do that?
Oh, I have a funny story for you the second we get off this podcast that my teacher told us at tourism school.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll never stop laughing at what June told us one day, but that's a question that doesn't need to be said on the podcast because he's my professor. And I don't want to be repeating my professor's family stories on the podcast. But
after we finish recording stories are always the funniest ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, audience.
But Colby before he votes out Jerri, does something with Jerri. They go to the Great Barrier Reef.
We've talked about this recently.
We have.
Breaks international law.
Yeah, it is. Okay. I was about to say something about international law. I'm not going to do that. No political jokes on this show.
Not while we're recording it.
No. But yeah, Colby wins a reward. He goes to the Great Barrier Reef. Jerri decides to violate every single. Colby violates all the rules that the Australian government sets out. Jerri, on the other hand, violates all the rules that you learn when I took my scuba diving class. When Jerri right away goes to pop a bottle of champagne, and Colby says, "We don't need alcohol if we're going to go diving," and Jerri says, "Sure we do." Every scuba diver who sees that will laugh because when you're a certified diver, it's a little more lenient. Like, you still have to follow the rules, but no one checks every detail. When I was in scuba school, we had to take a breathalyzer to make sure as a student diver that you're safe to jump off the boat.
Nice.
I'm like, what? I'm not driving a car down the highway, but okay.
But yeah.
So that's probably a well-known reward. But this is kind of the first.
Oh, like, I don't see a way CBS didn't say, "Hey, don't break the coral."
Yeah, I don't. Either.
What went through his mind to do that?
I don't know.
They had to pay a big fine, so I'm guessing they told the players ahead of time, "Don't do this."
I would hope. Someone, like I said, who does scuba diving, watching this back now just infuriates me. I know they probably didn't know better, but...
See, this is just making me want to find terrible scuba diving videos on YouTube and send them to you as rage bait.
Oh, I can send you some. I have some funny ones.
Of course you do.
I saw a scuba video once of a brand new diver who was diving with a shark and thought that it was a petting zoo. I think you know what happens.
It's illegal to touch a manatee.
Yes, it is.
But they will like swim right up to you and like it wants to cuddle. But I can't touch it.
No, you can't touch it. You're not good. It's not. The oils in our skin are not good for them.
I know, but they're so friendly. Like, I see so many videos of them swimming right up to people. I'm like, I want to pet it.
I've been in areas that you had to go really slow in Miami because we're taking a boat through a manatee protected zone. I've never seen any yet.
Manatees are cool.
Yeah.
They're like cows, but underwater.
Except they can't make me a prime rib. So.
Not with that attitude.
They're not like cows.
Not with that attitude, they can't.
So this is one of Colby's rewards, but Colby is the challenge beast of the season. Not only does he win 5 immunities, which I think that's tied for a record still today with Mike Holloway and Ozzy.
Yeah.
But he also wins a lot of memorable rewards. So he wins the Great Barrier Reef diving with Jerri. The night of the flood, he wins the Outback Camp, where Colby is just in his element, sitting with Australian cowboys, eating beef stew and playing guitar all night, something I could just see Colby and Reed doing in Texas.
Yeah.
And then we have the birth of the car curse. There was no car in Borneo, right? I'm not forgetting something.
I think that's right.
Yep. So Colby is the first player to win a car. He's, in addition to the car, it's the second loved one visit. Back in the day, they didn't have all the loved ones come out. They just had the winner, and you get the reward like a day later. So, I know in Borneo it was Sean got the night on the yacht, and then his dad was on the yacht already. Colby wins the car, and Jeff leaves him alone and says, I'm gonna go I'm gonna let you be and let you they'll bring out some food, and it's his mom that's the server.
That's awesome.
So that was really nice to see. And then, I mean, it's like I said, it's the start of the car curse. I got a question now too. We've already debated, and I didn't intend on bringing this up tonight because I know you and I disagree on the Tina versus Keith thing. But if Colby votes Tina out of the game at 3, the car curse would have never existed. That just crossed my mind.
And for the record, taking Tina was a dumb move. I've never disagreed with that. I kind of just respect the idea of wanting to beat the best. If if you're confident you can win, I respect it. He was overconfident, but
Yeah.
But yeah, the
car curse would have never been a thing because the first player to win a car would have ran away with the game, probably 7-0.
Yeah, unanimously. People didn't like Keith for some reason. Which I'm not sure why. We don't get enough of him for me to understand why people dislike him.
Yeah, exactly.
Much. But, he's our chef. So that's what I remember about him.
That's what everyone remembers. So then Colby just continues winning immunity. He and Tina are calling the shots in the whole game. It's old school Survivor, so we get a lot of the reflection from back home at the end of the game. And then we have the final immunity. He wins it, and like we just hinted at, he decides he's going to go up against the best, and not the easy win. He takes Tina to the end, and he loses to her by 1 vote.
Yep.
All right, you said you had something to say about All-Stars. Do you want to lead that part of the discussion?
Yeah, so...
I mean, what episode would it be of Tribal Council Chat if we didn't talk about All-Stars?
Jumping ahead to where Colby goes home, and he and Lex have been working together. And this is Colby adjacent. It's more of a Lex tangent. Lex tells Colby and tells Ethan, who he spent a whole season aligned with, like, hey, this isn't anything about our friendship. This is just business. This is game.
Yep.
And he gets told basically that same line and takes it as you're a terrible friend and gets super bitter about it. I'm just pointing out there's no difference between those two things. It's just one, you did it and the other someone did it to you.
Absolutely, you're right.
But anytime we get near the whole Lex and Rob thing, I have to point out how stupid it was that Rob literally told you what you told Ethan and Colby, and you got upset about it.
Yeah, no question. But starting the season, Colby starts on Mogo Mogo.
Yeah,
Which,
he did not get
I
the
mean,
joy in the bunker.
no, he didn't. Instead, he's with Kathy, Jenna, Rich, Lex. Who else was on that tribe? Sheehan and him
Yeah.
for 6. So yeah, he didn't have to live in the bunker. He wasn't part of the Saboga disaster tribe, so we don't really see a lot of him for the first bit of the game.
Yeah.
The one thing we do get is episode 5. At this point, they're already down a member because Jenna decided to leave the game to go home to her ailing mother. But episode 5, Colby really leads the blindside to say, "What about Rich?"
We do get, before this, we get him and Rich on a raft at some point.
Yeah, that's true. Him and Rich less a bathing suit on a raft.
Because we get the Colby quote, something along, I don't remember the exact number, but about 200 pounds a hatch or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the number he said.
I forget, but
enter number here, pounds of hatch.
Oh, I remember. It was when they were building the raft for the challenge that dispersed Saboga. Colby said, "This doesn't only have to carry me and Lex and Kathy, but it has to carry 220 pounds of Richard Hatch."
That's it.
If Richard was only 220 pounds, I don't know why they made a big deal about Rich saying that he was so big at the beginning of the season. I'm Rich's size.
I weigh more than that.
Yeah.
And also shout out to Rich for biting a shark.
Yeah. I will get down to 200 pounds. I need to do that in order to go skydiving in Mexico.
See, skydiving, the falling part looks fun. I don't think I'd be able to psych myself up to jump out of a plane.
Fair. That's why you go in it tandem in one and the instructor who pushes you.
Yeah. Well, fair enough.
I never really wanted to do that for my whole life. But for some odd reason, in the last few months, I've just been watching a ton of skydiving videos, and I'm like, this would be fun.
I want to do a shark cage. It's the crazy
I do too.
People think I'm crazy when I say that, but
I want to do that.
For those in the audience that don't know what I'm talking about, they put you in a cage underwater when there's sharks nearby and throw chum in the water around your cage.
Not normally. South Africa is the big place for great white shark diving, but a new company just opened. They do it right off the coast of Halifax, Nova Scotia now.
Nice. Do I need to be like a scuba person to do that?
I don't know.
I just want the thing where I'm like in a cage and there's sharks swimming around.
I don't think so, because if it's on the surface, I think you just need to do snuba, which is just like with the tanks right above your head. Yeah. I don't think it's actually diving. I'm gonna do a shark dive in December in Mexico, and that one you have to be certified, but it's because you go down 35 meters and hold on to a chain on the bottom of the ocean floor with bull sharks swimming above you.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking of, I'm just in a cage, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. But either way, so yeah, you're right. Colby does have that line. Saboga's dissolved, and then later in that episode, Colby really decides, you know what, it's time to make a big move here. And Rich is the one that has to go.
Yeah.
And we get a big talk about the King of Survivors voted out. 26 seasons before Sandra's voted out for the first time as the Queen of Survivor.
Yeah.
People in the audience might call me crazy, I know, because the general consensus is, and I have to mention this here, is Rob, Tony, Perv, and Sandra. Rich is on my Mount Rushmore.
Who do you take off?
Tony.
Fair enough. Asked and answered.
I know I might be one of the few people that think that, but I think there has to be a spot for the first person to do it.
Yeah. Makes sense. But he has a downfall on All Stars when he and Jerri end up on the same tribe again.
Yeah.
They are on the same tribe, I guess.
Yes.
When Saboga dissolves, Jerri ends up on Mogo Mogo.
And this is very interesting when that dissolving happens, because Mogo Mogo wins the challenge. And they choose to take Ethan first and Jerri third. My thought would have been that the two, if I'm talking about getting one player of each gender, I would have thought you'd take Rupert and Jenna. So I think Shapiro won this out.
If you take Ethan, though, that gives you a winner target if you want to go that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. But, I mean, no one was targeting winners other than Jenna, really, that early.
I mean, yeah, but hypothetically, is Richard gone yet at this point? I think he is.
No. He competes in that challenge. He goes later that day.
All right, that's right. We talked about that.
But I honestly think at this point, the tribe is just getting tired of Richard's antics with making Mogo Mogo Island a nudist resort, as opposed to voting him out just because he's a winner. Because we don't see this vile anti-winner hate on Mogo Mogo the way we do on Saboga, notably with Jenna.
Yeah, she better not do that on 50.
Hopefully not.
Well, she can with 2 of the 3 winners. If she does it with one specifically, I'll be upset. But
we're talking about she can do it with D, right?
That's the one she can't do it with.
I know.
But the other 2, like Kyle and Savannah, I like them. I won't be as upset. Don't go after my favorite person on the cast, Jenna, please.
Fair enough.
But I saw a clip, and Jenna, I agreed with Jenna on this, and she liked my tweet commenting that I agreed. That she said she would go for Suri early, and I'm like, yeah, you can't let her get footing.
Interesting.
If on my tribe, I'm going after her first chance I go to tribal.
See, I would let Suri stay pretty far. I think she can go out again at 5, 6, whatever.
No, she's too dangerous to let her get footing. And if she gets to the end, she'll get the sympathy. Oh, you should have won this other time. We'll give you. My tribe, she's my target the first time we go to tribal.
Yeah.
So I think that's who Jenna goes after if she has a chance.
That's fair.
We'll see. I'm excited to have Jenna back, though.
Absolutely. And then
longest we've had someone go between appearances.
Oh, it has to be, because Wigglesworth had that record before, and that was season 1 to season 31, so 30 seasons. Jenna's season 8 to season 50.
Yeah, that's 42. You're right. Nice.
Beat it by quite a bit. So then after the Rich vote, I mean, Colby's voted out next. There's really no surprises there, and that's about the end of All Stars. Anything you want to say there before we talk about Heroes versus Villains quick?
All Stars is kind of just the most forgettable Colby season.
Yeah.
His first one is the most remembered, and his third one is grumpy and doesn't want to be there, so people remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
He even gets grumpy with Jeff at a reward challenge before it starts one time in Heroes versus Villains. I saw a clip of that recently. Where like Probst was offering for them to taste a reward beforehand.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, no, I don't need to taste it. I just want to get the challenge going. And then he says it again, and Probst is like, I heard you. We'll go when I say so. Like, a little bit of tension there.
Well, that's a good segue into the season, but it starts off, obviously, Colby is a hero. This is, I mean, we'll have a bit to say. We'll probably wrap the episode up shortly, but this is probably can be summed up by Colby just not really wanting to be there.
Yeah.
He did. He's the last hero standing. He makes the final 5, but he didn't seem that interested in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we accepted the invitation. Nobody forced you to be there.
But bizarrely, the 2 players playing the least were him and Rupert, and they go the furthest of all the heroes. Whereas, like, say all what you want about JT's ridiculous letter, at least he's trying.
Hey, Rupert tried.
Yeah, he put a rock in his pocket. We know.
Yeah. It's the most strategic thing he ever did.
It's true. But I mean, when you're looking at the heroes, it's like, no wonder Sandra thought about flipping. They were not playing that well for those that stayed around. Amanda played a good game.
Amanda and JT were the 2 that were actually playing each other.
Yeah, JT was playing poorly. Amanda was playing very well.
They were both playing and trying. JT was just a bonehead about it. An entertaining bonehead, though.
If season 20 was, say, All Stars and not heroes versus villains, I would be defending JT. But I feel you have to know that if this guy you've never heard of is on a tribe called Villains, don't trust Russell.
Yeah.
But if, in contrast with that, if somebody on 50 gets played by Savannah, who plays a very aggressive, villainous game, I'd be like, okay, they didn't know, they tried.
Yeah. I'd agree.
Because they've never seen Savannah play. What I'm curious to know is Savannah going to tell people she's a winner, and is Rizzo going to tell people she's a winner if she doesn't?
He won't.
I know, that's the thing. They're like best friends. All 3 trust Leches, but...
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see.
I don't know if she will, but if she doesn't, there's no chance he does.
Yeah.
They'll have their story together on the same page coming in though. So
what was I gonna say? So yeah, he comes into this game. Colby does have some memorable moments though. I think probably my favorite line of like the whole 20s of Survivor. God damn it, Reed. That was just the most iconic family visit ever.
Blaming is, yeah, I like that the family participates in the challenge, and Colby blaming his brother for Colby being bad at catching water in a bucket.
Yeah.
Fantastic, really.
And also just watching Jerri completely obliterate Colby in a challenge. Like, times have changed. Another memorable moment. Colby was just watching Treasure Island. That'll always make great television.
Should have let Amanda keep the idol and like argued in her favor, but that only serves my interest. So I don't think that serves his interest.
I mean, I would have said he should have let Danielle keep the idol. So, oh well.
I mean, Danielle had it first. Don't get me wrong, but my interest is what's best for Amanda.
I know. I don't remember who I was cheering for in this season, but I know I was cheering for Danielle in her original season. So
Danielle's big mess up was to sit at Tribal and go, Parvati and I are closer than you think, Russell.
Yeah.
Because that put red flags up for everyone.
She might have won the game if she sits with Parvati and Russell.
Yeah.
But any other notable things you want to mention from season 20?
James calls him Superman in a fat suit. That's kind of fun.
That's true. James had a lot of funny quotes in that season, despite not being there for long.
James was also very grumpy and not as likable this season as his first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, he's not super great to Stephanie.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's kind of at odds with Pope as well,
Yeah.
despite them working together for part of the most recent season.
Yeah.
But then, regardless of some of those issues, Colby still does make it all the way to 5. Where you're going, Colby wasn't that far away from winning the game when you factor in Rupert is on the jury, Amanda's on the jury, Candace is on the jury.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wins a couple challenges at the end the way he used to, he's probably a winner.
Yeah. Any hero sitting next to villains at the end would have won.
Yeah.
It could have been Sugar, and she would have won because they wouldn't have wanted to vote for a villain if they didn't have to.
All right, ready to get into an aligned blindside for Spook?
Sure.
All right, do you have one or do you want me to go? I'll give you the option because last time I took youth players.
You go first. I forgot about that. That's funny.
All right. So let's do an aligned blindside first boot of 3 players that were blindsided by Colby in across his seasons. So your options are going to be Jerri Manthe, Jeff Varner, or Richard Hatch.
Okay, well, I can't first boot the winner because Varner's here, and I feel I'll get to first boot him after.
I agree.
After him is where things. I guess I'll blindside Hatch and align with Jerri.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's a good pick.
1 second, I'm looking something up for mine.
Sure. Take your time.
Well, I looked something up.
Yeah, you just sent me pictures of cage diving. You definitely don't have to be scuba certified.
Oh, I forgot I sent you those. That was when we talked about it.
I don't think that they're using a tank. I think they're just coming up to get air.
It's like right below the surface, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the oldest person on Heroes versus Villains because I'm giving you the oldest person from each
nice.
of the seasons. What?
And I said nice, so not Marilyn. You're giving me Roger.
I'm giving you Roger, and from Heroes versus Villains, Randy, and from All Stars, one of your favorite players ever who's no longer with us.
Rudy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't look that one up. I'm making a very heavy assumption there, but it's a fair assumption.
Oh, yeah. He was 78 years old on All Stars.
Jeez.
He was 73 years old on Borneo.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, if you haven't done it, look into Rudy's bio. The stuff that guy's done is just, I mean, it's amazing that they got him to play, especially to be in such a first season. Like, what a life lived.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing, honestly.
I want to sometime, if I get off a cruise ship or whatnot, go up to Vero Beach, Florida. Rudy's family, from what I've heard, donated his Navy uniform to the Navy SEAL Museum in Florida.
Nice.
Right on the highway between Miami and Orlando, which also Vero Beach, Florida has another, in addition to Rudy's military uniform and medals being there, has another piece of survivor history. It's the birthplace of Poverty Shallow.
Oh, there you go.
So Rudy, Roger, and Randy, 3 R's, very alliterative. I am going to
each of his seasons.
I'm gonna first boot Roger here. I think everybody would want him to win. He's just seems like such a nice guy that would be hard to be able to sit next to.
You have that with 2 of these 3.
I do have that with 2 of them. I'm gonna blindside Rudy. Rudy is the. You know what? I'm gonna change my mind now. I'm gonna first boot Rudy because I was about to say that Rudy would be very loyal on the jury, but if you blindsided Rudy, he would be pissed.
Fair. I'm first booting him because I feel like he's gonna struggle the most in challenges of these 3.
Yeah. I was just thinking that he might have some survival skills to offer, but yeah, it's probably the best to first boot Rudy in this case. I'll blindside Roger. I'm going to the end with Randy. Yes, I know it's in one way, Randy is probably the hardest to play with, easiest to beat, but at the same time, I'm a big Randy fan, so I think it would be fine to play the game all the way through with it.
Aligning him is the smart idea because you beat him at a jury. I don't know if I can deal with him for that many days. Like, he just seems so unpleasant to spend that much time with.
That's fair.
On the island. But shout out to what he did at the Gabon reunion.
Yeah.
Which, for those of you that don't know, I guess they get a certain number of tickets for family and friends they want to bring.
Yeah.
Randy just gave those tickets to random people he found on the street. I'm not sure why.
And speaking of Randy and reunions, shout out to the Co-Wrong reunion because the dress that Michelle is wearing when she wins the game is based off of Randy's Hawaiian shirt in Heroes vs. Villains.
Nice. Also, one of Brett's favorite prize money parts of Survivor started at the Co-Wrong finale, I'm pretty sure.
The most annoying reunion show that there's been in a long time other than the first 5 minutes. I do not care about your ridiculous animal welfare charity. I like eating a filet mignon, and Michelle Fitzgerald deserved to win the game. The end.
I touched a nerve there with Sia. I'm kind of proud of myself. I will say that's not the most annoying finale because
at least I said I liked eating a filet mignon. I could have said I like chicken breast.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say the most annoying finale is the really early one that Rosie O'Donnell or someone hosts. Where she's in on a motorcycle and is just annoying the whole time.
Marquesas, yeah.
That one sucks.
Yeah.
Because of Rosie O'Donnell, mostly.
Yeah, thankfully they got Jeff doing it come Amazon or something.
Yeah, they waited. They didn't make him do Thailand, and that they gave him a good season to start on.
Yeah, Amazon's a great season.
Yeah,
I'd love for us to rewatch that one at some point too.
Thailand is a not great season.
Yeah, not a great season. I'm one of the few people that doesn't have it in my bottom 4 seasons.
Group auction is interesting. I will give Thailand that, and a whole team losing their boat is hilarious.
I almost think it's those kind of things, but then to me, I love Thailand, so it watches better than most for most people. But I have Fiji below it, as we talked about. I have Nicaragua below it, and I have Palau below it. Then Thailand.
Last for me, and then I don't know what's second to last. Maybe Island of the Idols.
Interesting.
Which is not a bad season, but it has a dark cloud that hangs.
It has a huge dark cloud. The interesting thing for me with Island of the Idols, in my mind, the earlier you went home, the more likely I am to like you as a player. The pre-merge cast is amazing.
Yeah.
And then the recent, right after the merge cast is good. And I'll give credit to a couple players who made it to the end. I've met Tommy. He's such a nice guy. He definitely deserved to win and played an amazing game. I met his wife. I have nothing but amazing things to say about them. I've met Jamal. Amazing guy to talk to.
Yeah. No Detective Dean shout out?
I did not meet him, so no.
Oh, me neither. He just seems like a fun dude. I don't know.
Dean and Michelle were not together at that point in time that I met Michelle for the first time.
I forgot they used to be together, to be honest. I was just thinking of him on the show.
Oh, I thought you meant because he was Michelle's ex.
No, I forgot about that completely, to be honest.
TG and I have been talking about how to cast X's 3, so...
Well, Dean gets my vote. He seems very challenged.
Interesting.
He just seems like, based on him on Survivor, the challenge seems like it would be his vibe.
My vote for Michelle X on the challenge has to go to Emmanuel, Romanian Survivor.
No.
Oh, yes. He's a challenge champ.
Yeah, he's just not. I'd rather see someone else on there that I haven't seen.
Fair.
Like, he's not boring. He's just not super interesting either.
That's fair. Anyway.
Wendell would be awesome.
Yeah.
And we've already pointed out on TV that they're exes because they made that a thing on Winners at War for no reason.
Wendell would be great on the challenge, especially if Dee is hooking up with Johnny Bananas on the same show.
Is that still a thing, by the way?
Yes, that's still a thing.
Like, currently?
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
They said so on the challenge reunion show, at least.
Well, that's fun. That was also filmed months ago.
That's fun. Anyway, grab your torches and head back to camp. We'll see you next week for what should be another good episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.